Hello everyone and welcome to another game of World of Warships. Today's replay is from Brambosss. He is in the New Orleans Tier 8 US cruiser. He is on the map Two Brothers in a 4-point domination game mode. It's a Tier 8 battle with no carriers and few destroyers. So let's see how this works. In the beginning, he is now slowly moving towards Point Alpha. We have a destroyer in the front who is doing some scouting, and hopefully there are a few ships also going in this direction. Now he isn't moving at full speed yet. He's taking this slowly. You don't want to rush in a cruiser. I mean, there is a battleship following pretty closely behind him. The battleship is probably slow. Now we haven't spotted a lot of opposition yet, but slowly we can see some enemies there. The friendly destroyer is capping, so no enemy destroyer is in the cap circle yet. Now Brambosss is using hydro and surveillance radar. US cruisers are usually known for good anti-air, and I guess many people take an anti-air consumable with them. But you don't see carriers that often, so hiding out your ship to hunt destroyers might be a more useful choice most of the time. And he has engaged in combat here. Unfortunately, he is leading ship in a cruiser that's not ideal. You really would want maybe some battleships in front of you. And there are some battleships on the way, but they just aren't here yet. He is maneuvering quite nicely and some nice hits on the hipper. So far he has dodged most of the incoming fire. Now the enemy destroyer is spotted. He is sticking around here because most likely he wants to get rid of the enemy Anshan. Now the friendly team managed to take the cap. But it would be very nice if they can get the destroyer, and he has radar ready, so as soon as this destroyer starts using smoke, we'll probably use radar. So far the enemy destroyer isn't interested in it yet. Unfortunately he just took a heavy hit while turning away. But I mean, he has to turn away here, he can't continue pushing in. Now, thankfully, a lot of the friendly team is now shooting that destroyer, and they managed to take him down. Now, Brambosss has to retreat here. He already has taken a lot of damage. And we can see some torpedoes. He didn't even have to use radar here. But the torpedoes ran out, and now he can hopefully find cover behind an island. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't look like the battleships are taking an offensive position here, but keep in mind the friendly team already has that capture point. What they have to do now is defend. There isn't necessarily a need to push in, especially considering that there is a large opposition, and the friendly team also secured the other cap circle. So what I expect the team to do in this side is maybe fall back more towards the center or just hold position here and let the enemy push in. Some nice hitterdels at this Graf Spee. Graf Spee is, well, sitting broadside on and sailing slowly backwards. That's probably not the best defensive tactic. And the Graf Spee got pretty lucky here. I think he is in the process of speeding up again. Now Brambosss is now in a position where you want to be in a US cruiser. He is behind an island. The British have... the US have pretty decent shell arcs. And yeah, he can now lob shells over this island. And be undetected. So he is in cover, nobody can see him, and he can just shoot things. So he's using a hydro here. I'm not exactly sure why. maybe he wants to give some cover to that friendly battleship in case there are torpedoes on the way. Though I'm not sure where the last remaining enemy destroyer is. I guess it's possible that he's around here, so I'm assuming he wants to cover the friendly battleship here in case of torpedo attacks. Now, it also looks like when looking at the minimap that there might be some ships going through the center, and hey, somebody started capturing the friendly point. There is actually a ship coming through the center. And there goes one enemy ship. So there is a battleship here lying in wait, defending Bravo Cap. And Brambosss has noticed there's Chapayev coming. The Chapayev is showing broadside. I mean, there is no other way to exit this channel than by showing broadside. And some more citadels. The ship sunk. Unfortunately, he's spotted now. The island might protect him from getting spotted from the north, but Chapayev just saw him, which could make this messy, but he's undetected again, he's back in cover, and those ships were probably too distracted shooting at other people. So overall, this game is looking pretty good. The two teams have the same number of ships, but the friendly team controls 3 zones. And the enemies are rather indecisive here at Point Alpha. The enemies have certainly the advantage, but they haven't really pushed in force. When you look down there, their battleships are not really in the lead. The friendly Luoyang is doing a great job at spotting there in the front, but he was forced to lay a smoke screen and he is now retreating, so might have used consumables to spot him. I mean, there is an enemy New Orleans somewhere around there as well. No, I don't think she's close enough for radar. And, well, here we see friendly battleship forces moving towards the zone wall. That's not ideal. You really want to stick in a battleship here, as in the center, and if you want to retreat, you retreat towards, like, Bravo Cap, towards the other side of the map. Going towards the zone wall is just almost never a good idea. And Brambosss here is sitting comfortably and lobbing his shells at enemies. I mean, he has scored already a respectable 63,000 points of damage, and there is a broadside on Graf Spee that will probably get sunk pretty soon. Now, if you're wondering why there is and there goes the Graf Spee. Now, if you're wondering why there is a friendly destroyer so far in the back, that's, I think, the Kiev. And he just doesn't, I mean, okay, that was unfortunate, they just lost the Luoyang. But this other destroyer, he is like a Russian gunboat. He doesn't have torpedoes to really harass people or stealth torpedo. He is relying on his guns. And in order to get use out of these guns, he wants to stay away from the enemies, or he will, well, just get sunk. Now Brambosss has to retreat here now. They lost their spotter and the enemies are finally moving in here. He can't just sit behind this island. And he is taking a lot of fire. He's very low health, but still floating. Nicely done, there is Confederate and another Citadel hit. Now he has some cover against those ships already, and it looks like this New Mexico isn't interested in him, so I think he escaped here. The friendly team is losing the delta point. And it looks like a friendly battleship is going straight through the middle to grab Charlie. I'm not sure if this is the best course of action. This battleship will be quite isolated and might fall to this enemy destroyer there, but we shall see. Now, those two ships, they are finally retreating towards the center. This is a good thing. They can't fight those forces, so might as well just fall back. This battleship here on the left zone wall is, well, really out of position, and he will most likely get taken down by the overwhelming force with no way to retreat. Now Brambosss is in a pretty bad situation because we know there are two enemy ships here at the Delta Cap. He can't just go there and cap it. He isn't really getting any support right now. I mean, those two ships, they might be coming over here, but it will take them a while. And by the point those two ships arrive over here, the enemies will just have broken through. Now he is using radar here. He's using radar here because he knew there were enemies at Point Delta that were likely coming this way. And thanks to the radar, he knows the Bayern is coming. Bayern can't see him. And the Bayern had another target. So there was a very nice salvo that he was able to hit the Bayern with. Unfortunately, he's at so low health. Bayern does have some decent secondaries, and the next salvo will go in his direction. Now he is not willing to expose any part of his ship. He is not using his back cannons. He is hoping that he can reload in time to take down this Bayern. He switched to high explosive here, and a secondary shell actually set the Bayern on fire. And this was quite intense. And there is the Tashkent. Now he is using Hydro. Unfortunately, torpedoes aren't the biggest threat here. The biggest threat are the Tashkent's guns. And while the New Orleans can deal with a Tashkent pretty quickly, he is on so low health. He is doing a great job angling against incoming shells. But the problem is, the Tashkent has a very fast reload. There isn't just much chance of angling at the Tashkent and then using your rear guns when the Tashkent is reloading. I mean, he's doing a great job, Brambosss, but it's not easy. But the Tashkent is burning, that's certainly nice. And he's gone. The Kraken's unleashed. So he survived that battle, which is amazing. Oh, and I think there is some... well, a little fight going on in the chat. People I think are unhappy with the destroyer. I mean, the destroyer is on pretty low health, and I'm afraid he might go down here. The friendly team has one more ship, but I guess yep, now the teams are even. And now the friendly team has one more capsule, but the enemies are taking another one. Now this was a very nice hit. Now the VT should be also on rather low health, but Brambosss here... yeah, let's be realistic, one salvo might be enough just to take him out. British cruiser, so there is no problem with fires, but piercing can hurt quite a bit. Now he is using radar here, and that British cruiser has used smoke. That smoke was a mistake, because now the Fiji can't see Brambosss. So he's a sitting duck, and the smoke isn't helping because of radar. The Fiji realized his mistake. He is coming out of the smoke, and there is one salvo, but Brambosss was perfectly angled. Didn't really do anything, and yeah, now it's 6 ships sunk. Only one enemy remaining, a battleship that's, well, not in a too relevant position. He is here at the point Alpha, and it will take him a while to reach something he can capture. Now, even if this enemy battleship sinks the friendly battleship, there is no way the enemies are going to win. Brambosss is too far away from the enemy to get sunk, and point-wise, the friendly team has got this. Now let's take a look at the swords. Brambosss managed to get 2,908 base experience, over 1,000 experience more than the second in the team. So yeah, he carried like a boss. He was a bit aggressive in the beginning and took quite a bit of damage, but he managed to get back behind an island and then did what US cruisers do best. He kept firing at the enemies from a safe position. He realized when it was time to retreat, then went on the other flank, captured another point, and came back to defend Bravo. So, well played by him. Brambosss earned himself Confederate and Kraken, and he scored 132,000 points of damage. Managed to score quite a few citadels here, and yeah, defended a bit, captured a point. So, well played by him. Also something to note. Most of his damage came from armor-piercing shells, and he used very little high explosive in his cruiser. And he did very well with it. So I hope you enjoyed some nice cruiser gameplay, and I'll see you guys next time.